anytime I need to use my new Sylvania LED light pods, I just need to pop the hood and clamp the wires to the battery terminals, and then, you know, let this button hang out the front here, and then flip that on. And
previously,
but somebody backed into my truck, back backward, bit of a dip, not flat, close. Bolt it back together and put the bumper back on. This is a nice, oh, it looks nice. So let's sum all this up. Bent that back forward, straightened up this head to straighten that whole thing there. I've got my strut mounted in there. All the same stuff on the other side where I want to mount the headlight. Goody. Sitting next to me is my 1996 Ford F-350. I'm going to be installing a set of Sylvania low profile light pods. Here's one of them here, low profile. It'll fit just about anywhere. So I'm going to be sticking them right in the opening in the stock Ford bumper. Looking at the pod itself, it's just bare wire off the back, so I'm going to have to route that up here somewhere. The brackets on these headlights don't really want to go back, and even if I did, I would have no more upward adjustability. I'm going to try and mount this either this way or off to the side. Usually I'd have to just weld something up. Now, being in an apartment complex, I don't have a 220 outlet or a welder for that matter. I'm a welder, I don't have a welding power source. What I do have are these neat little aluminum brackets that I got from somewhere, and if I put that bolt right centered on that strut back there, it puts this thing almost exactly where I need it. But I'm just going to cut this right down the center here, and be back in just a second. Yeah, pardon the air compressor in the background, it's loud. Got the brackets cut. I'm gonna put them right dead center here, and they line up just perfectly with the edge of that plastic right there, which is going to cause a problem. I'm gonna cut it short right where that first hole is. So the new hole is gonna go right there. It's gonna mount just like that. I actually think this is gonna work out perfect. How often does that happen? Because I'll be honest, for me it's, well, almost never. So I'll show you the strut stuff that I'm using. It's got a shape to it like that, and you can get this stuff, you know, where people sell it. You can actually push this in here like that, turn it to the side. It just fits in just like that. You can kind of see there just how it fits. Bolt whatever you're going to bolt to it, just like that, and it anchors in place. And that's how it's going to fit on there. And that's what I've got mounted back there. I'm not going to be able to get an Allen wrench on that. So I'm going to put the bracket in there first. So now it's nice and solid in there, and it's probably pointed straight at the ground, but I'll have to adjust that later. And I've got my wire hanging down underneath, and I'll do that up. Now there's plenty of space in here to route whatever I want to route. But right behind that driver's side battery, there's already a wire going down there. So I just fed this right down next to it. Not decided what to do at all with that. So that wire comes out right there. I'm gonna run right across this plastic piece here, right behind the grill. And that's gonna keep it right out of the way. And I could notch this right here, but I'm not really going to. I'm just gonna put the zip tie back about this far. It fits in that notch there. Now, I have no idea what this was for, what should go there and is missing, but it looks like that's just gonna be perfectly enough for me to get both of these wires right to that connection. Now I have both those wires hooked up and they're all nice and floppy in here. Let's show you this. It's just flopping around. I'll zip tie it up like that, and same on the other side. Hopefully it doesn't pull back too much. Yeah, at least it'll stop this. I don't know. Give me a second. I'm trying to do this one-handed, holding the camera. One more time, it should work. Yeah, it just pops the thing off, cuts it nice and clean. Now I've got those held in there, and this really isn't that bad anymore. Okay. So I've got the relay hooked up to power now. I'll let this button hang out the front here and then flip that on. And okay, take two. Flip the switch and now I've got LEDs. And it's, yeah, pretty clean installation. We'll come back later tonight to see how bright these things actually are. Trying to figure out, in the 1996 F-350, there is a fuse in here that in the user manual, it's labeled as fog lights. There were no fog lights on this truck, and there were no factory options for fog lights that I knew of. I don't know where that wire goes. I couldn't find it. I probably could have pulled that fuse box and physically traced the wire, but I'm not a fan of this. I really got my hopes up for hooking into the factory power supply for the fog lights. I still may do that, but for the time being, it's getting dark and I'm just attaching it directly to the battery. It's got a built-in fuse on the positive wire, but that bolt just oh, thank goodness, it did not go very far. Are you kidding me? Where'd you go? You do not run off yet. That almost sucked. There, so now at the very least, the light should work, except that I cut the switch off this wiring harness. All right, last video for the night. Headlights are installed. I'm just pointed at a garage wall right now, nothing measured, just so you can see the difference. These are just my running lights. Here are my normal headlights, and it's a little difficult to tell because the camera keeps adjusting. But here are my normal headlights with the LED pods turned on. I was not actually expecting this, and I'm probably gonna have to aim them down if I ever wanna use them while I'm driving. This is like my 10th take on this. I just can't speak. So here's